Okay, I decided today we'll do collisions. So basically, whenever we kind of collide with something, we conceptually want to go, okay, well, we've collided, do something about that. Obviously, it's going to be a bit hard to collide with this ball, but we'll kind of get there. Let's conceptually think about this. What I've done as well off screen was rather than just have size, I've got a width and height for things. So, because I've got a width and height for the floor anyway, I've added a width and height for the ball. I've had a width and height for the player and so on. So it means that the player could possibly not be just a square. It could be like a rectangle and some sort of picture of some sort, whatever. So now what I want to think about is how do we deal with intersection of two rectangles? We'll just do that for now. So let's make our ball like 40 by 40 just to make it a bit bigger, and same with our player, just so that we've got a little bit more surface area to collide with. And what we need to do is we need to think about, well, how does that intersection work? What happens? So if we've got two squares, in fact, it might be best to actually draw something or get a Figma up or something. I'll just see if I can open a Figma. Make a little bit more sense with the idea of this. Just open up a new thing. I'm going to continue. Go and log in. Request tag. I think I'm on one of my other ones. Okay, I just want to get on Figma. I don't want to open a specific open thing. I just want to literally get on. Come on, Figma. There we go. So once this loads, we'll come on. Untitled, that looks all right. So we've got this sort of blank Figma thing. Let's make a couple of boxes of some sort. So we've got this one. And let's do another one. Let's change that to blue or something. There we go. So conceptually, we want to think about if these intersect at any point. So if these collide, sort of thing, what is true of this? What's the thoughts here? Got the top, bottom, left, and right sort of sides of these. So if the let's say this is rectangle 1, rectangle 2. So rectangle 1's x, yeah, is less than rectangle 2's x. So if it's, yeah, plus rectangle 2's x width. So basically, if this is anywhere to the left of that sort of thing, if this actually intersects like that, that's one part of collision. But we want to make sure that and the top or bottom are also kind of somewhere within that range as well. So we want the left to be further along than the right. We want the top to be further along than the bottom. We want the bottom to be further along than the top, and we want the right to be further along than the left, basically. So we need sort of 4 different conditions here. So it's kind of the collision between two items. They're like, okay, I've now collided. I mean, any of those sort of things. So let's take a look at the thing. That's the concept of it. Let's try and code that out as a thing. So I'm just going to find some area and just here, yeah, why not? Make a new function. Collides. Something like that. Or is colliding. Taking like A and B. There we go. Is A colliding with B or B colliding with A? So all we need to do is we need to say, well, we're going to just return a bunch of conditions. So let's say if A dot X is less than B dot X plus its b dot width. Yeah. If that's true, then we've got part of a collision. Yeah. So that's one part of it. Let's think of another part. So another part is if the x plus width is greater than theirs. So if a dot x plus a dot width is now greater than b dot x. So that's another condition. So if those two things are true, then we kind of have it within the bounds of its left and right. Now for the top and bottom, let's think if a dot x is less than b dot x, oh, sorry, y. If a dot y is less than b dot y plus b dot height, that's another condition. And now the inverse of that, so if a dot y plus a dot width is greater than b dot y, that's another condition. So all these conditions here. Now I could just AND these together. I sort of do like AND. So they're all kind of one condition almost. So in essence, I could just return this. So let's put these together as an overall condition that happens. Then whatever all of those end up equaling, whether it's true or false, we're going to return that. Okay. So let's see if that works. I mean, conceptually it should, and it looks like the logic is sound, but let's see what happens. So we're probably going to want to do this on the update. So as we update, we go, okay, let's now check whether after moving, we end up with a collision. So we'll say, what was it? Is colliding. And we want to check the player versus the ball. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is say, if those two are colliding, for now, console.log you collided. Let's see what we get here. We're going to like refresh the page. Let's get to the page. If I can. This is awesome. I'll find the page. Let's see if we can move that up a bit so I can actually access there we go. So now what I'm going to do, refresh. They're bigger. Try and make that. There we go. We've got a little tick there. It collided. So we just literally got there. Boom. We've just collided like 28 times or something mad. There we go. We keep colliding. It's great. But notice how we're not getting any collisions unless we actually do collide. There's not, it's not. We have to have some form of position where we're actually getting hit somewhere. Dunk. There we go. Collided again. So now that we've got this collision, we could do maybe an alert. That'd be a bit more in your face sort of thing. You got hit. Save that. So now it'll, let's refresh again. So now if we actually collide, instead of it dunk, oh, we collided. So it kind of says, look, you got hit. Problem is I'm still colliding at the moment. See, while it's physically in there, I'm still colliding technically. So that's that one. So that works fine. Let's make these smaller again, because that was just to test the collision side of things. So you could do the same if you were any XY coordinate. So you kind of just make up an XY coordinates set and just say, hey, this bounds of this box, if I go into there, that's a hotspot or an event or something that can happen. So you could have like doors and all sorts and do whatever you want to have like transitions and anything else that you want. Let's have a look. So we're going to just make these back to being sort of 20. What else? We want the player and we want the ball to be also 20. refresh that. So basically now we go bonk, we collided. It's still going to keep colliding because we're still there. So we could kind of say, okay, that was it. Only do that, and then that's it. It's done. But this was just kind of just a thing. But we could just like have it reset the game or do whatever. You know, you could like lose a life and put your people to somewhere else or whatever. This was just to kind of demonstrate the idea of it. We have collided. There are other ways how we could do this. We could set up collision where it just checks if the user collides with something. You know, because I've just said this is kind of a freestanding function. We could actually put collide or something like that, or is colliding, or intersects, and have two things there or whatever. And put like different collisions into different things. In fact, should we just do that? I think we got time to do that. It's not going to take super amounts of time. So where we've got our collision sort of thing, let's go grab our is colliding. Let's copy this, and I'll go to the player, and it's another function. So we've got a draw, we've got an update. Let's just say like intersects. That's technically what it's doing. So intersects is the function taking in other. Yeah. So A being this, X, B being other. A being this, B being other, and A being this, B being other, other, this, and then we'll put a comma there. So what this is going to do, it's going to say, are we intersecting? Yeah. So in essence, we now have this kind of concept of it's now on the player to decide whether it's intersected or not. So now we just do something like player.intersects. Where are we? In this situation, we'll do player.intersects in the thing here. So it is colliding. Now it's going to be player.intersects. So now if we literally have that same sort of logic for what we want to do, yeah. So refresh the page and okay. So if I do, I'm trying to get hit now. There we go. So there we go. The intersection happened. It's currently intersecting. That's the idea. Yeah. So now we've leveraged the player being the thing that deals with its collisions at this point. Kind of. We're still having a update happening in the game loop to do that. This could actually be part of the update inside the player as well, but we'll figure out what we're doing with that. I mean, this could be its own separate thing. We could have like a manager of entities, for instance, and check whether any entities collide with each other and so on and so forth. But for now, that was perfectly good to give the idea of the logic and the intersection and sort of get something up on there. For now, I'm just going to leave that as is. Okay, so I think that'll do for this one. It's been awesome. I'll see you in the next one.